The entire crew disappeared overnight. No bodies, no struggle, just silence. In 1590, a man returned home to find 115 people had vanished without a trace. His daughter, his newborn granddaughter, gone. The only clue? One word carved into wood: Croatoan. The Unsolved Historical Mysteries. In 1587, John White led 115 English colonists to Roanoke Island off the coast of North Carolina, including his daughter and newborn granddaughter Virginia Dare, the first English child born in America. White returned to England for supplies, but was delayed 3 years by war. When he returned in 1590, the entire settlement had vanished, with only the word Croatoan carved into a post as a clue. The houses had been dismantled in an orderly fashion, suggesting planned departure rather than emergency, and White had instructed the colonists to carve a Maltese cross if leaving under distress, but none was found. Theories for their fate include integration with the friendly Croatoan tribe on a nearby island, attack by Spanish forces who viewed English presence as a threat, death from disease or starvation, or dispersal inland seeking better conditions. Archaeological evidence has been found at various sites, suggesting some colonists may have joined Native American communities, with European artifacts discovered dozens of miles inland. Despite centuries of investigation and recent excavations uncovering tantalizing clues, the ultimate fate of the Roanoke colonists remains one of America's oldest and most enduring unsolved mysteries. Between August and November 1888, at least 5 impoverished women working as prostitutes were brutally murdered in London's Whitechapel district by an unidentified killer who became known as Jack the Ripper. The victims suffered increasingly savage mutilations, with organs removed with apparent surgical precision, suggesting the killer had medical knowledge. Letters allegedly from the killer, including the famous Dear Boss letter that gave him his nickname, and the From Hell letter accompanied by half a kidney, heightened public hysteria, though many were likely journalistic hoaxes. Despite one of Victorian England's largest police investigations, the murders stopped as suddenly as they began in November 1888, and the killer was never caught. Over 130 years, more than 100 suspects have been proposed, ranging from Polish immigrants and asylum patients to barristers and even members of the royal family. The most promising suspects include Montague John Druitt, who drowned himself shortly after the final murder, and Aaron Kosminski, a Polish immigrant committed to an asylum. Modern forensic techniques, including DNA analysis, have been applied to surviving evidence with controversial and disputed results. The FBI officially closed the case in 2016 after 45 years of investigation, and Jack the Ripper remains the only unidentified hijacker in American aviation history, an enduring cultural icon representing Victorian-era crime and mystery. The last case is the most scariest. The Voynich Manuscript is a mysterious 240-page illustrated codex from the early 15th century, written in an unknown script that has defied all attempts at translation for over a century. Named after book dealer Wilfred Voynich, who purchased it in 1912, the manuscript contains bizarre illustrations of unidentifiable plants, astronomical diagrams, nude female figures in strange plumbing-like systems, and pharmaceutical drawings, all accompanied by text in an alphabet of 20 to 30 glyphs. The text exhibits statistical properties of natural language with word frequency patterns and consistent structures similar to known languages, yet no linguist, cryptographer, or code breaker, including World War II experts who later cracked the Enigma cipher, has successfully deciphered it. Theories about the manuscript range from elaborate hoax created to defraud a wealthy buyer to encrypted medical or alchemical knowledge written in a forgotten cipher or constructed language. Some suggest it represents glossolalia, or the work of someone with mental illness, while optimistic researchers believe it contains genuine medieval knowledge about herbalism and medicine. Recent computer analysis has proposed it might be a Semitic or Romance language with substitution cipher, but all decoding attempts have failed. Modern artificial intelligence and computational linguistics have been applied without success. The manuscript currently resides at Yale University's Beinecke Library, continuing to challenge and frustrate researchers worldwide as one of history's most impenetrable mysteries. Join the first 1,000 seekers to unveil hidden facts and historical mysteries. Cleopatra VII, the last pharaoh of Egypt, died in 30 BC following her defeat alongside Mark Antony by Octavian in the final war of the Roman Republic. Ancient historians Plutarch and Cassius Dio recorded that she committed suicide, likely by poison rather than the legendary asp bite, and that Octavian granted her request to be buried with Antony in a grand monument near Alexandria, described as lofty and beautiful. Despite its potential to be one of antiquity's richest archaeological sites, no evidence of this tomb has ever been discovered, making it one of history's most sought-after prizes that could contain treasures, artifacts, documents, and possibly the mummified remains of both Cleopatra and Mark Antony. The search is complicated by Alexandria's tumultuous 2,000-year history of earthquakes, tsunamis, and wars that have transformed the landscape, with much of the ancient royal quarter now underwater due to subsidence and sea level changes, while other areas are buried under modern buildings. Some archaeologists believe the tomb lies beneath contemporary Alexandria, while others think it's submerged in the harbor among Ptolemaic ruins. Archaeologist Kathleen Martinez has spent years excavating at Toposiris Magna Temple Complex, 28 miles west of Alexandria, discovering coins bearing Cleopatra's image, high-status burials, and tunnel systems, though no definitive evidence has emerged. The combination of geographic challenges, political instability, difficulties of underwater archaeology, and cultural sensitivities means the search continues with uncertain prospects, and Cleopatra's final resting place may remain one of history's most tantalizing mysteries. In the arid plateau of southern Peru, the Nazca culture created enormous geoglyphs between 500 BC and 500 AD by removing reddish pebbles to reveal lighter ground beneath, covering approximately 200 square miles with over 800 straight lines, some running for miles, 300 geometric shapes, and 70 biomorphs depicting animals like hummingbirds, spiders, monkeys, and whales. Individual figures can measure up to 1,200 feet across, and remarkably, many shapes can only be fully appreciated from hundreds of feet in the air, discovered by modern science only in the 1920s when commercial aircraft began flying over the region. This prompted the central mystery. Why would an ancient culture create massive images they couldn't properly see from the ground? German archaeologist Maria Reich proposed the lines formed an astronomical calendar, though later analysis found alignments were no better than random chance. Anthropologist Johann Reinhardt suggested they relate to water and fertility rituals, as many animal figures represent creatures associated with water in Andean mythology, with archaeological work finding offerings and ceremonial objects supporting this interpretation. Other theories include ceremonial pathways for religious pilgrimages, offerings to sky deities who could observe from above, or social projects that united communities through their construction. The truth is likely complex, with the lines serving multiple purposes across centuries: astronomical significance, religious meaning, social functions, and agricultural connections simultaneously. Since the Nazca culture left no written records, their exact intentions remain open to interpretation, though advanced imaging continues revealing hundreds of new figures, adding complexity to understanding these mysterious ancient monuments.
Some mysteries were never meant to be solved, but more are waiting. For more historical mysteries and true events, subscribe, like, comment what you think really happened.